All right, let's take a look at the Triumph Thruxton R. Great looking bike. Big piston forks in the front and Ohlins shocks in the rear. So very much upgraded in terms of suspension componentry, which is why we picked it. So let's see how it fits. The seat is dead straight on the sides. It doesn't need to be scalloped out. And you fit perfectly with the tank. If you scoot back a little bit to give yourself a bit more room, the tank isn't invasive in your groin at all. And the rise of the tank is very short, so that's nice. In terms of the reach here, that's comfortable for me. It's got a bit of weight on my hands. Just need the bars a hair forward. Brake lever's perfect in terms of down angle, but too short on reach, but it is adjustable. Brembo here. Clutch lever is adjustable. It's too high. It's up here, so I got to bring my fingers up and over. Reach is adjustable, so that's cool. We can fix that. Foot peg. Just needs dropping a little bit, and that is adjustable, so we can fix that. Shifter. It's way too high for me. That's definitely going to change position. There's a shift rod on it, so that's easily adjustable too. That's how I fit on the Thruxton R. All right, let's see what we got for static in the back of the bike. Big exhaust, got to reposition. All right. Hmm. 7 to 12 mil, so that's great that we've got static, so that's fine. Let's go around the front. The book says 120 millimeters of travel. Let's put it against the lock, push her up. 130 extended, so 10 millimeters up will be bottom out on the Thruxton R forks. All right, Mr. Williams on, 180 pounds, crushing the front, there we go. 35 millimeters of sag in the front. $390. Okay, Dave, off you get. $390. So 25 in the back. All right, let's extend it. 25 plus. Yeah, let it go. That's fine. 8. So 32. So just a hair softer in the back. So for our big piston fork, let's see what we have for preload. It's the same 5 millimeter Allen. So we're going to take it all out. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 clicks in. So let's put it back. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, and 6. Now let's take a look up top. And we have TEN and COM for rebound and compression. So let's start with compression. We're going to go to the right. So half, 1, half, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and an eighth to all intents and purposes. 1, half, 2, half, 3, 4, half, 5, and an eighth. And then on to rebound. Half, 1, half, 2, 3, half, 4, 4 and 3/4. So half, 2, half, 3, half, 4 and a half, and 3/4. So those are the fork settings. Now, on the shock settings, there are clips here, or engraved grooves. So in those grooves goes a little spring. And it's really hard to pull these down to get the spring out and bring them up, or pull them down and move the spring down. That's how you would adjust the preload on the shock. So The other part of that is the spring is very progressive. Look at these big gaps at the bottom, and then look at how that winds up. So very progressive springs. This is compression. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 clicks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this on the base is rebound under the exhaust. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19 clicks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. So those are the settings for the rear shock on the Thruxton R. All right, let's see how it feels on the showroom floor. Oof, that's unexpected. This is a fun road bike, and it's really firm. I'm wondering if that's thickness of oil, because the settings are ways out at 4 or 5 turns plus. So I'm wondering if the oil is actually quite thick in the forks, and maybe when that breaks in, it'll get a little more movement to it. So right now it feels very firm. The back, as you'd expect with that massively progressive spring, lots of movement. Rebound in the back, very nice. Comes straight up to a comfortable stop. Rebound in the front's very slow. So if we push on the whole bike, forks don't move much, shock moves twice as much, so it's going to ride down the road, slightly rear biased. All right, what would I do with settings for a 180-pound rider like Dave? I am going to say that I would, because the rear feels really good, but it's so soft on the downstroke, rather than change the compression setting, I'm going to pull the spring down, expose the clip. We're on line number 1, 2, we're on line number 3, go to line number 4 and do that on both sides and leave compression and rebound alone in the shocks. On the front end, I'm going to let the oil get hot and see how much travel we use, because everything's quite a ways out. If we can't get the travel we're looking for, then I'll go to probably 6 turns off on compression and maybe come back another turn and a quarter on rebound and see if I can get more travel in that way. And if we can, great. If we can't, I'm willing to move the front end down by 3, maybe 4 millimeters. I'd go in +2 and +4 to see how the handling changed by doing that, by getting more weight on the front, but certainly that'd bring the bike flatter. If you're 220, I'd probably leave the front end alone as it is, see how much travel you use there and replace the springs in the back, because it's just going to buckle underneath you, and they're so progressive, even if you move down a couple of clips, it's just not going to make enough difference. So 220 plus, plan on replacing the shock springs unless you're just wandering around on the bike. If you're 120 to 150, I'd say the back of the bike will probably work quite nicely for you actually, but the front of the bike, with more investigation, if it's simply an oil change to much thinner oil, which will make the fork work better, maybe that's all you need to do. But again, putting the cable tie on there and seeing what we get out of it is going to be an experiment and a process to see if we have to go any deeper than oil or springs. So those are the settings I'd use on the Thruxton R for those 3 weight categories.
To schedule a remote tuning appointment for you and your bike with Dave via text, email, Facebook, etc., contact Dave on Facebook or by email, dave@davemosstuning.com.